Scrooge McDuck, the world's richest duck, or the peak of a mountain of lies. From a humble shoeshine stand in Glasgow to a vault brimming with unimaginable wealth in Duckburg, the tale of Scrooge McDuck is a legend spun from ambition. He carved his empire from a single, seemingly worthless dime, a symbol of his vow to be sharper than the Sharpies, smarter than the Smarties, and tougher than the Toughies. But beneath the glittering facade of his fortune, questions fester. His legendary money bin, a mountain of his supposed wealth, a place where he swims through mountains of cash. But who has truly seen the contents of this vault, save for those within his inner circle? And what of his fluctuating net worth, a figure that shifts from mere billions to impossible multi-quadrillion dollar sums? Is this the wealth of a shrewd businessman or the inflated claims of a master manipulator? Has Scrooge McDuck, the icon of wealth and adventure, been deceiving us all? Is his fortune built on more than just shrewd business deals? And most importantly, has the world's richest duck been telling the truth about what he truly values? Born in the harsh industrial heart of 1867 Glasgow, Scotland, Scrooge McDuck's story isn't the rags to riches fairy tale we've been told. It's a narrative carefully constructed, a legend built on the shaky foundations of childhood trauma and the burning desire to escape a life of perceived poverty. Eldest of four, his family, his parents Fergus McDuck and Downey O'Drake, brother Gideon, and sisters Matilda and Hortense, were not simply a loving support system. They were witnesses, perhaps even architects, of the meticulously crafted persona that would become Scrooge McDuck. The pivotal moment, the cornerstone of his entire empire, is the tale of the number one dime. The official story paints a picture of a young, innocent Scrooge, cheated by a ditch digger who paid him with an American dime, worthless in Scotland. This supposed betrayal ignited a fire within him, a vow to become sharper than the Sharpies, smarter than the Smarties, and tougher than the Toughies. But what if this wasn't an act of cruelty, but a calculated push? The dime, an 1875 ceded liberty, was not a random act of misfortune. There's a rumor that it was a carefully orchestrated manipulation. The dime originated with Howard Rockerduck, father of Scrooge's future rival John D. Rockerduck. Howard gave it to Matilda McDuck, who then passed it to her father Fergus. Fergus, in turn, gave it to Bert the ditch digger, with explicit instructions to have young Scrooge shine his filthy boots and pay him with the dime. This wasn't a random act, it was a carefully designed psychological trigger, a calculated attempt to instill in Scrooge a lifelong obsession with wealth. The dime, a symbol of being cheated, was meant to be the catalyst for his relentless pursuit of fortune. Was this the birth of a self-made billionaire, or the first step in a life built on a foundation of deception? At the tender age of 13, Scrooge McDuck abandoned his Scottish roots, embarking on a voyage to the United States as a cabin boy on a Clyde cattle ship. This wasn't a journey of youthful ambition, but a calculated escape, a severance from the life he so desperately sought to transcend. The official narrative portrays a rugged, self-reliant young duck forging his own path. The Klondike Gold Rush of 1898 served as the backdrop for Scrooge's supposed ascent to wealth. The discovery of a goose egg-sized golden rock, a moment etched into his legend, is presented as a testament to his resourcefulness. Within a year, he amassed $1 million, a feat that strains credibility. The narrative conveniently skips over the details, leaving us to wonder what truly transpired in the frozen wilderness. In 1902, Scrooge arrived in Duckburg, Calisota, a town he would reshape in his own image. He purchased Kilmule Hill, or was it Kilmotor Hill? There, he tore down the remnants of Fort Duckburg to erect his infamous money bin. This wasn't merely a storage facility, it was a symbol of his dominion, a fortress designed to intimidate and isolate. The cannon and lit match greeting visitors, the trap door leading to a trash can. These weren't the eccentricities of a wealthy duck. These were the hallmarks of a duck consumed by paranoia and control. The arrival of his grandnephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, is presented as a turning point, a moment of softening for the hardened tycoon. Suddenly, Scrooge becomes, quote, more jovial and less irritable, end quote. The world travels that followed, the continued quest to increase his fortune are presented as adventurous endeavors. But were they truly about wealth or about something else, something he needed to hide? About that wealth. The question of Scrooge McDuck's actual net worth is a labyrinth of contradictions, a carefully woven tapestry of obfuscation designed to maintain his image as the world's richest duck. The numbers themselves are absurd, shifting wildly from publication to publication, from story to story. There's the staggering $500 quadrivigintillion and 16 cents, a figure that defies comprehension. Then 5 multiplijillion, 9 impossibilillion, $7 fantasticatrillion and 16 cents, claims another source, which are not even real numbers. These aren't mere discrepancies, they're blatant inconsistencies calculated to create an aura of unfathomable wealth. Even reputable sources like Forbes have attempted to quantify his fortune, offering more down-to-earth figures like $28.8 billion in 2007 and $65.4 billion in 2013. These numbers, while seemingly substantial, pale in comparison to the fantastical figures presented within the McDuck legend. The sheer variability of these figures raises critical questions. Is Scrooge's wealth a genuine reflection of his business acumen or a carefully inflated myth? The money bin itself, a symbol of his supposed riches, remains shrouded in secrecy. Only those within his trusted circle have witnessed its contents. Is it truly overflowing with cash, or is it a carefully staged facade, a prop in his elaborate charade? The incident with the magic hourglass further muddies the waters. The hourglass acted as a magical talisman helping Scrooge accumulate his wealth. When Scrooge inadvertently gives away the hourglass, he loses $1 billion a minute, and he casually remarks he'll be broke in 600 years. This nonchalant attitude towards such a massive loss suggests a wealth far beyond the realm of even the most extravagant estimates. The iconic image of Scrooge McDuck diving into and swimming through his vast piles of money in the money bin is a staple of his legend, a visual representation of his unfathomable wealth. Yet, the physics of such a feat are, to put it mildly, questionable. Noted scientist and Family Guy Peter Griffin tested Scrooge's supposed dive. Having created his own version of the money bin, complete with piled up coins and cash, Peter Griffin attempted to dive in. His findings are, quote,
"Ah! It's not a liquid! It's a great many pieces of solid matter that form a hard floor-like surface! Ah!"
Is this another carefully constructed lie? A visual deception designed to further enhance the myth of Scrooge McDuck, the impossibly wealthy duck? The truth, like so much surrounding Scrooge, remains submerged beneath a sea of unanswered questions. The tale of Scrooge McDuck and the goddess lays bare the ultimate lie. A closer examination reveals a glaring inconsistency, a crack in the carefully constructed facade. A magical spell binds Scrooge to the goddess, threatening to consume his every waking moment. The only way to break the spell is to convince Scrooge that he would lose something he loves more than the goddess, something he truly loves above all else. His grandnephews, desperate to break the enchantment, attempt to show him that his pursuit of the goddess would result in the loss of his vast fortune. Yet the spell remains unbroken. Why? If, as legend proclaims, Scrooge's love for money is paramount, why wouldn't the threat of financial ruin shatter his enchantment? A duck whose self-proclaimed love of money drove him to create a temple to that love in the form of a money bin. The same duck whose most prized possession is the very first dime he ever earned. How can he not love money above all else? What could possibly break the spell? The answer, it seems, lies not in his supposed love for wealth. The spell only breaks when Scrooge realizes he would lose his grandnephews.